Hello, everybody. Today, I'd like to start out with my speech with a little bit of a question. Have you ever seen anybody cook without a recipe before? A really good example for me is my grandma. She can go in any fridge or any pantry and throw together an amazing dish. She only really needs like five ingredients, and she'll create something that's flavorful and memorable. And she does that every single day of her life. And it's something that I really envied in high school and college. I was eating a lot of ramen and mac and cheese and fast food, and I was really dependent on that, and I hate that. I spent a lot of money on that, and I hated not feeling free, and I also just my body didn't feel good either. I was eating trash food, and I felt like trash, and so I started to learn how to cook, and that has honestly changed my life, and it has given me such a valuable skill. You're going to be cooking your entire life, and so might as well learn how to be good at that and enjoy life. And so that's kind of the purpose of my speech today is to empower you to cook without a recipe. Um, I think, and also to cook without fear. And I think one of the biggest things like there's a lot to be scared of when you're cooking. Let's say you spent an hour making this dish, and at the end it just tastes rancid. It's inedible. That means that you just wasted money, you wasted time, and you wasted food, and you're still hungry and stressed at the end of the day. There's a lot to lose from not being successful at this, but I can also promise you that there's so much more to gain from learning how to cook. And that's like the first step I want to focus on is just doing it. There's a lot to hold you back, but I promise that as you do it, you will learn more than I could ever teach you in 5 minutes. And so that's kind of like the first thing that I did is I just started doing it. I took my ramen and I took my mac and cheese and I would add just some ingredients here and there to it. With my mac and cheese, I'd add like andouille sausage or bacon or pepperoni um, or like ground beef, and I'd like play around with flavors. I get like some Cajun seasoning, some of this, some of that, and I do that also with my ramen. And that's the first thing that I want you to do is take whatever you're eating already and take these very basic foods and just add something to them. Get very used to the flavors that you have at hand. That's my second big point. Is I want you to as well try any flavor and get it really like ingrained into you. For example, like let's say you don't know exactly what soy sauce tastes like. What does it taste like? I want you to take a spoonful of that and actually taste that. And I want you, because then if you do that, you'll be able to be more creative in the kitchen, and you can look at a pantry and like put together foods. It'll be kind of a second nature to you, and that has really also helped me with my creativity in the kitchen. Is getting used to all my different ingredients. Along with that, there's kind of a flavor triangle that we talk about in the culinary world, and that consists of a base, which is often like a fat, like cheese. For example, in mac and cheese, that's the base like flavors cheese, and then you have your middle tones, which is like vegetables. For example, like an onion. I could put that in my mac and cheese. That's more like a sweet kind of taste, and then at the end you have like your herbs, spices, and acids. Lime juice and lemon juice are really good common acids, and they're very. This is like very typical of acids. They're very precise and they're strong. They're bold, and same with like other spices and herbs. Herbs you want to put it at the very end. Those herbs are like cilantro or like fresh cilantro or like fresh basil or any of those things. If you put them at the beginning, their flavors are just going to go away. But if you put them at the end, they're going to be very flavorful and still intact. Um, so again, that's like kind of the triangle that you want to look for is the fats first, and then the middle tones like your vegetables and other flavor things you want to add, and then at the top you have acids, spices, and uh, herbs. Um, and then also recipes are not inherently bad. It's just being dependent on them that is, because that removes your creativity and that gets you again to be dependent. And so recipes can be good sometimes. Like for example, I don't know a whole lot about African dishes, and so I'm going to look at a bunch of African recipes and try and replicate those in my own cooking. You also can do that when you're eating out. You look at what ingredients are in here and try and rebuild it back at home. And I promise that as you do these things, you will be empowered to make dishes on your own, and it won't take that much time really. It'll take like 20 to 30 minutes. You'll have a new hobby, you'll stay healthy, and you'll save so much money by doing this. Again, you're going to start with something really easy like mac and cheese and just add some ingredients to it. Get used to your ingredients and taste them all. And then also remember that flavor pyramid and try recipes for the sake of learning new um, cooking techniques. I promise that as you do that, you will be able to cook without a recipe. And that is one of the um, most joyous things in my life. I hope that you enjoy this speech and I hope that you find it very useful.